You know that feeling? Your body is exhausted. Your eyes are heavy. You can barely keep them open on the couch. But the moment your head hits the pillow, suddenly you're wide awake. Your mind starts racing. You're staring at the ceiling. And sleep, which seemed so close just moments ago, now feels impossibly far away. It's one of the most frustrating experiences we can have, being desperately tired but unable to sleep. But there's actually a lot of science behind why this happens, and understanding it might help you finally get the rest you need. Here's something that might surprise you. Being tired and being sleepy are not the same thing. Your brain treats these as two completely different states. When you feel tired, you're experiencing physical and mental fatigue. Your muscles ache, your thinking feels sluggish, you have low energy. But sleepiness is something else entirely. It's your body's biological drive to actually fall asleep, controlled by your circadian rhythm and something called sleep pressure. You can be extremely tired without being sleepy, and that's exactly what's happening when you can't fall asleep despite feeling exhausted. So what is sleep pressure? It's the accumulation of a chemical in your brain called adenosine. From the moment you wake up, adenosine starts building up. The longer you're awake, the more adenosine accumulates, and the stronger your drive to sleep becomes. When you sleep, your brain clears out this adenosine and resets. Think of it like a bucket slowly filling with water throughout the day. When the bucket is full enough, you feel sleepy. When you sleep, you empty the bucket. But adenosine is only half the equation. The other half is your circadian rhythm, your internal biological clock. This rhythm controls when your body wants to be awake and when it wants to be asleep, following a roughly 24-hour cycle. It's influenced primarily by light, which is why you naturally feel more alert during the day and sleepy at night. In the evening, your brain produces melatonin to make you drowsy. In the morning, it releases cortisol to wake you up. For you to fall asleep easily, you need both high sleep pressure from adenosine and the right timing in your circadian rhythm. If either one is off, sleep becomes difficult. And in our modern world, we're constantly throwing both of these systems out of balance. Let's talk about being tired but wired. This is that state where your body feels exhausted, but your mind is buzzing, and you feel almost electric with restless energy. This happens when your stress response system is still activated, even though you're physically drained. When you're stressed, anxious, or overstimulated, your body releases cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones increase your heart rate, sharpen your focus, and keep you alert. Your body literally cannot fall asleep when these stress hormones are elevated, because sleep would be dangerous if you were actually facing a threat. The problem is, your body can't tell the difference between a real threat and modern stressors. Worrying about work, scrolling through disturbing news, having an argument, or even watching an intense TV show can all trigger this stress response. So you end up exhausted from the day, but too wired to sleep because your nervous system is still in fight or flight mode. Then there's the caffeine factor. Most people know caffeine keeps you awake, but they don't realize how long it stays in your system. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors in your brain. When you drink coffee, the caffeine molecules prevent adenosine from binding and making you feel sleepy. But caffeine has a half-life of about 5 to 6 hours. That means if you have coffee at 4 p.m., half of that caffeine is still in your system at 10 p.m. A quarter of it is still there at 4 a.m. You might feel tired because your body is genuinely fatigued, but the caffeine is blocking your brain's ability to recognize the sleep pressure that's been building up. And it's not just coffee. Tea, energy drinks, soda, and even chocolate contain caffeine. You could be sabotaging your sleep without realizing it. Now let's talk about light, because this is huge. Your circadian rhythm is primarily controlled by light exposure, especially blue light that mimics daylight. In our natural environment, we'd be exposed to bright light during the day and then gradually dimming light as the sun sets. But now, we work under fluorescent lights all day, then come home and spend our evenings staring at phones, tablets, and TVs, all of which emit blue light. This constant exposure to artificial light, especially in the evening, confuses your circadian rhythm. Your brain thinks it's still daytime, so it suppresses melatonin production. You feel tired from the day's activities, but your brain hasn't gotten the signal that it's time to sleep. Then there's sleep anxiety, which creates a vicious cycle. You have trouble sleeping one night, so the next night you're anxious about whether you'll be able to sleep. That anxiety itself makes it harder to fall asleep, which makes you more anxious the next night. When you get into bed worried about sleep, you activate your stress response. You start monitoring your body, checking the time, calculating how many hours you could still get. All of this mental activity makes sleep impossible. It's like trying to fall asleep on command. The harder you try, the more elusive it becomes. For many people, the moment they lie down is the first quiet moment they've had all day. During the day, you're constantly distracted by work, conversations, screens, and activities. But in the dark and quiet of your bedroom, there's nothing to distract you from your own thoughts. And if you haven't taken time during the day to process your thoughts and emotions, bedtime becomes when your brain tries to do all that processing. Your mind starts racing. You replay conversations, think about everything you need to do tomorrow, worry about problems you can't control. Your brain, finally given space and quiet, goes into overdrive. Your bedroom environment can also work against you. If your room is too warm, your body can't cool down enough to initiate sleep. Your core body temperature needs to drop by about 2 to 3 degrees for you to fall asleep. Noise is another factor. Even if you think you've gotten used to it, your brain continues to process sounds and stays more alert than it should be. And alcohol, while it might help you fall asleep faster, prevents you from getting deep, restorative sleep. You'll likely wake up in the middle of the night, and the quality of sleep you do get is degraded. So what can you actually do about all this? First, understand that you cannot force sleep. Sleep is something that happens to you when the conditions are right. Your job isn't to try harder to sleep, it's to create the conditions that allow sleep to occur naturally. Start by protecting your circadian rhythm. Get bright light exposure in the morning, ideally natural sunlight. Go outside within an hour of waking up. This sets your internal clock and makes you more alert during the day while promoting better sleep at night. Then, in the evening, start dimming the lights. Reduce your exposure to screens or at least use blue light filters. Signal to your brain that the day is ending. Create a consistent sleep schedule, even on weekends. Your circadian rhythm thrives on regularity. Going to bed and waking up at roughly the same time every day helps synchronize your internal clock. Sleeping in on weekends might feel good, but it throws off your rhythm and makes it harder to sleep the next night. If you're lying in bed unable to sleep, don't just lie there suffering. After about 20 minutes, get up. Do something calm and quiet in dim light. Read a book. Listen to gentle music. Do some light stretching. Only go back to bed when you feel genuinely sleepy. This helps break the association between your bed and wakefulness. Work on managing stress and anxiety before bedtime. This might mean journaling, meditation, deep breathing exercises, or setting aside time earlier in the evening to process your thoughts. Don't make bedtime the first moment you deal with your emotional life. Pay attention to your caffeine intake. If you're having trouble sleeping, try cutting off caffeine by early afternoon and see if it helps. You might be surprised by the difference it makes. Make your bedroom a sleep sanctuary. Keep it cool, somewhere between 60 and 67 degrees. Make it as dark as possible with blackout curtains or an eye mask. Use earplugs or white noise if you need to block out sounds. Reserve your bed for sleep only, not for working, eating, or scrolling through your phone. And perhaps most importantly, be patient with yourself. Sleep difficulties are incredibly common. Your body knows how to sleep. Sometimes you just need to remove the obstacles that are getting in the way and trust that your natural sleep systems will kick in when the conditions are right. The paradox of being tired but unable to sleep isn't a mystery once you understand the systems at play. It's the result of a mismatch between physical fatigue and the biological mechanisms that actually produce sleep. By addressing your circadian rhythm, managing sleep pressure, reducing stress, and creating the right environment, you can help realign these systems and finally get the rest you need. When the conditions are right and you stop fighting against yourself, sleep will come. It always does.